Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph, and I'm one of the three organizers for Zouk Conexal Festival. Our festival just ended, and I really wanted to make this podcast throughout the year as we plan next year's iteration to bring information to the community. So, not only for organizers, but also for attendees that sometimes have questions about why organizers do certain things, how things work behind the scenes. So, I'm hoping to bring you guys that information and a little bit more clarity on some of the events that we organize, both for Zouk Excel and other events around the country. Now, of course, I can only speak from my experiences. There's a lot of other ways to do things. And if you have any comments, feel free to comment on any of the videos. We gladly accept feedback. We don't do everything perfectly, and we're always trying to make our events better. So thank you for watching and enjoy the videos. One of the first questions I wanted to address, or one of the first questions that I saw in Zouk Nerds, was about Jack and Jill. So a lot of people had questions on how they're run, where do the profits go to, how much judges are paid, why they're paid that much, and so forth. So I wanted to make a little bit video of explaining a little bit of how we run things and actually give you numbers for our events, how many people bought Jack and Jill, well, where's our cost. Please know that I'm not going to be giving out any individual artist rates because that is private. If you want to know that, you will have to reach out to them directly. But sorry for also for my my setup. It's not the best. I'm going to invest some money in it, but just wanted to push out this first video because of the questions that I've been seeing in Dance Nerds. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So when we talk about Jack and Joe's and we talk about the fees, normally I would see tickets going anywhere from 25 to, I believe I've seen as high as $35. And those fees do go to cover several things. So there are about three organizations that go into Jack and Joe's. So the first one is going to be the Brazilian Zouk Dance Council. So sometimes we have to pay fees as an organization if you want to host a Jack and Jill. The first fee is $200, and that goes into running the council, right? So the council, I'm actually going to pull up their website here because they do a lot of really good things for Zouk. So they are the ones that train the judges. They're the ones that train the DJs. They come up with all that material. They do register the judges and all that good stuff. They have this website here. I really want to focus on because they do give you a little bit of background on Zouk and what it is. And it tells you about the council. It gives you the board members, so you can see a lot of the OGs of Zouk here. And so it gives you what this council is designed to do. And I think the most important ones for this conversation is going to be the promotion of Brazilian Zouk to the general public. They provide a central place for information for dancers, clubs, promoters, organizers, teachers, judges, competitors, and interested parties. They maintain the a global website. So this website, and in particular, this website has the results and worlds calendar. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but they maintain a member registry for communication between members. And then they maintain an instructors registry with a listing of dance instructors that are members of the BZDC in good standing. So again, they do a lot of really good things for Zouk, but I think for our talks purposes, they maintain this website. A lot of those fees go to maintaining this website, to making more Jack and Jill's more fair, to training judges, to training, to having information put out there. And again, in this website, you have the results and worlds calendar. So here you can see the stats for everyone for all the festivals that just happened. You have your calendar, which tells you your events that are coming up that have Jack and Jill. You have your results, so you can look at it per events. You can look up dancers, judges, who are the judges here, and then the rankings. So a lot of good information. All of this is maintained by the Dance Council. Again, that is BrazilianZoukCouncil.com. But we do have to pay some fees for that because they are the ones organizing and running how Jack and Jill's or creating the rules for how Jack and Jill's are ran. All right. So that's going to be one of the fees that we have as organizers to make sure we contribute to this so that they can keep doing all the good work that they do. The second fee, or the second place that some of the fees go to, is going to be to Dance Place. So Dance Place is the platform that we run Jack and Jill's in. So they do all of the back end work for placement and all the calculations for who gets first, second, who goes to the next round. So they don't pay me anything to mention them, but they're amazing for ticketing service. If you have any questions, please reach out to Darius. I'll try to add his information in the YouTube description. But this is a great place to sell tickets, organize your events. They have so many features, and one of them is Jack and Jill's. So some of the fees go to paying Dance Place so that they can keep running, they can keep creating more features and allow us to run Jack and Jill's. And then the third organization that you would be paying your fees to is to the organizer or to the event of the organizer so that they can pay the judges, they can pay the DJs, and a lot of other costs that come with Jack and Jill's, which I will be explaining here in a little bit. But those are going to be the three main organizations that the Jack and Jill fees go to, or your ticket for Jack and Jill goes to. So that's going to be the Brazilian Zouk Dance Council, Dance Place, and of course, the event organizer or the event itself. All right. All right. And finally, we're going to talk about the cost to the organization. Now, I can't list every single cost because there's some things that we can't really account for. So, of course, that takes time to schedule, time, advertising time, dance floor time, bringing artists in and out, for especially for the judges. But I'll touch on that as we go through. Of course, I'm also not going to tell you guys the specific rates for artists or DJs. I'm just going to put that in the lump sum. But one of the questions that somebody had was if one of the organizers could break down the cost and with actual numbers so they can see where that's going. And I want to thank Jose and Jackie because they were very gracious in allowing me to use the actual numbers from our last year for Zouk Excel. So I am going to be using actual numbers. There are going to be some that I'll have a ballpark for, just again, because I don't want to give individual information for artists. But let's go ahead and get started. And I will put this breakdown in the description. I don't know how to do the fancy things where you put that in the screen just yet. So let's talk about tickets sold. So we're starting out $4,475 worth of tickets. We had 179 participants and we sold our tickets at $25. So $4,475 is what came in for ticket sales. All right. So we do have some costs before the Jack and Jill even starts. So we have the registration fee, which is $200. That's going to be per event. We have the trophies that we bought, which were $300. So we also have to pay for bibs, pens, clipboards, all that stuff. We're going to say about $120 for a total of $620. Next, which is the big cost, is going to be the cost for staff. So our first thing is the coordinator. So the coordinator might charge you per competitor, or they might charge you a lump sum. So we're not going to say who our coordinator was, but we're going to say it was about $400. All right. And then we have the judges cost. So the judges cost did come up to $1,325. So that counts the head judge and just a regular judge. So the way that breaks down, because I know a lot of people had questions about that. So regular judges, they get $25 per round. So it's not per heat. So for example, in Zouk Excel, we had for our prelims, we had four heats, but the judge only gets paid $25 for prelims. So it's not per heat, it's only per round. So prelims, semis, and finals. So for if we had a judge that judged all of novice, they would have gotten $75 for judging all of them. I believe there was eight heats in all, so they wouldn't get eight times 25. It was only three times 25. Now we do have multiple judges. We had seven per novice, and I believe all the way up to advanced. So that did come up to 1,325. The head judge does get paid differently. They get $50 per round as well. All right. So again, our judge costs did come up to $1,325. The last thing, it was the DJ cost. So we had amazing DJs. I'm going to give the total cost again, not to talk about hourly rates, but the total cost was $630. The bigger the Jack and Jill, the longer that the DJ has to be there, and the longer that the DJ has to be there, the more we have to pay them. So um, total cost for staff came up to $2,355. And so if we're adding the before cost and the staff cost, we're at $2,975. Now, the other thing that a lot of people don't take into account because they're like, okay, so $3,000 and you made about 4,500, so you got $1,500 worth of profit. But one thing that we don't really talk about is the prizes. So for All Star, we did give $600 worth of prizes. And when it comes to novice, intermediate, and advanced, we gave a total of 18 passes out. So that is going to be money that we are not collecting. So it's going to be passes that we're giving out. So doing the calculations, our early bird tickets were $175. So let's say only out of those 18 passes, if everybody claimed their pass, it comes up to $1,575. But let's say only 50% of those passes are claimed, then I'm sorry. If all 18 passes were claimed, then it's $3,150. And if only 9 passes were claimed, then it's $1,575. And that is a cost to the organizer because again, that's ticket revenue that we are not getting, we are giving away. And the last thing that we have to take into account is dance place. So dance place does charge us $1 per competitor. So we had to pay $179 to dance place for all the competitors. Now that total, so we were to put the before cost, the cost of the staff, and the cost of the prizes comes up to again, 50, let's say 50% of those prize passes were redeemed, then we're at 5,329. But if all 100% of those passes were redeemed, then we're at 6,904. So most of the time, Jack and Jills are always going to be non-profitable for any event. I don't know how big you have to, if somebody wants to do a calculation on how big the Jack and Jill has to get in order for it to become profitable. But when it comes to the organizers or the events, most of the time it is not profitable. What we are counting on, to be honest, is to that the Jack and Jill will bring us ticket sales. So that's what we're counting on, and that's what we're hoping for. But the actual Jack and Jill is not profitable. There's also a lot of other costs that we don't include because they're a little bit harder to calculate. But for example, sometimes you have to fly in the coordinator, you have to provide food, you have to provide a hotel. Also, if you want to take a portion of all the judges' flights, hotels, the ballroom, the sound equipment, the setup for a Jack and Jill, all that takes money to be able to host a Jack and Jill. So just giving you the numbers of how much we're paying specific people. Again, we were in the hole probably anywhere from $800 to about $2,500. So it really just depends on how many of those passes are redeemed and a few other costs. But yes, all of these Jack and Jills for the most part are causing the organizers to lose money. Okay. All right. So that brings us to our so what section, or why did I create this video? First of all, it was because of the Zouk Nerds post and because I wanted to give some information about Jack and Jill's, how much they really cost to organizers, and the entire ecosystem of how Jack and Jill's are ran, organized, and planned. But also just to kind of dispel some of those ideas that we're getting rich off of Jack and Jill's, that Dance Place is getting rich off of Jack and Jill's, or that the Brazilian Zouk Dance Council is getting rich off of Jack and Jill's. Jack and Jill's are really expensive to run. I hope you guys enjoy them. We're not going to get into the pros or the cons of Jack and Jill's when it comes to the social dance floor, but in my personal opinion, I think they bring a lot of pros to Brazilian Zouk and the promotion of Brazilian Zouk. So I hope you guys found this video informational or informative, sorry. And I hope that you guys email me if you guys have any questions. Feel free to comment. Like I said, I'm gonna try to make more of these videos to kind of just show the back scenes of how we plan our events, what we consider, some of the challenges that we face, and some of the obstacles that we face, and how we get past them. Um, and just to bring some general information for both bringing organizers and attendees closer together, because I feel like sometimes there's a rift with lack of information, and so both organizers sometimes feel like they can't give that information out, and attendees sometimes feel like they can't ask. So we're all in this together. We're all trying to make better events. We're all trying to enjoy our events more. So I hope this information only brings us and the scene closer. All right. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next video.